Good morning to all the respected professors and fellow researchers. I'm YB Arzoo, one of the co-authors of our research paper. But before that, we would like to begin by expressing our heartfelt gratitude to the DIS 2025 committee and ACM for giving us the incredible opportunity to share our research here today. As students based in Bangladesh, the presentation remains a great deal to us. We deeply appreciate the support that made our remote participation possible. The committee was always really humble towards us and showed immense support in every trouble we had. Thank you for making this platform inclusive and accessible. Our paper titled Motivating the Margins, Inclusive Online Learning Design for Bangladeshi Students. And this work was conducted in collaboration with my co-authors Tahsin, Tasnim, Fabliha, Akther, Fairuz, Anika, Priodorshinee, Mrittika, and Dr. Jannatun, Noor. We all are from BRAC University and United International University from Bangladesh. So let's quickly walk through what we will be covering today. We'll begin with the brief introduction and research motivation. We'll then discuss our research questions, followed by the methodology we use. After that, we'll walk you through the key challenges we identified, the design implications, and the conceptual prototype we created in response. Then we'll share broader discussion points and wrap up with our conclusion and future decisions. So let us begin with the introduction and motivation. Education is often described as a great equalizer, but only when it is accessible to all. In Bangladesh, similarly, in global South context, access to education is frequently interrupted by external forces, be it political unrest, natural disasters, or infrastructure limitations. When schools closes during crises like protests or floods, students, especially in rural and low-income regions, are left behind. Online education offers a potential solution, but most online learning platforms are not designed with this context in mind. They assume stable internet, consistent power, high digital literacy, and often rely on English, none of which are universally available. In this work, we explore how online learning platforms can be designed for motivation, accessibility, and continuity, specifically for students in Bangladesh, navigating complex socio-political and technological barriers. Moving forward, much of the existing literature on online learning platforms originates from high-income countries. There is significant focus on the general digital divide, but often in abstract terms. Connectivity, devices, or usability challenges are studied in isolation. What's lacking is a Bangladesh-specific understanding that ties together infrastructure, politics, culture, and lived students' experiences. Few students address how design can be shaped by students' day-to-day realities, especially in low bandwidth, multilingual environments. We aim to fill that gap with an intersectional approach grounded in both empirical data and design thinking. For our research questions, our study is guided by number one, what contextual factors unique to the Global South drive the demand for online learning platforms in regions like Bangladesh? And how can online learning platforms be designed to promote equitable engagement and accessibility for students in the Global South? For methodology, we used a mixed methods approach. We conducted survey with 115 students aged 13 and up from a range of settings, urban, rural, and semi-urban, and across primary, secondary, and tertiary education levels. In addition, we carried out 60 semi-structured interviews to gain deeper insights. Sampling was done systematically and included snowball and convenience techniques to reach students with varying levels of internet access and device use. Let's take a look at the participants from our semi-structured interviews. As we can see, total of 60 students were interviewed, 56 were tertiary, 26% students were secondary, and 16% students were primary. We also divided our participants from urban, smaller city and rural regions. We also varied their levels of internet access and device availability. We also varied their levels of internet access and device availability. So, who did we talk to? In addition to the interviews, we surveyed 115 students. Surveyed those 115 students from diverse regions. 60% were urban, 40% were from rural or semi-urban backgrounds. We captured their data across age groups and education levels. Demographic diversity provides a rich understanding of digital learning disparities all over Bangladesh. Two major themes emerged as disruptions to traditional education. Number one is political unrest. The 2024 quota reform movement led to long-term school and university closure. Students missed exams and struggled with academic continuity. For many, online platforms became the only way to access learning material, especially when available offline. Number two, as natural disaster. Flooding in rural areas like Feni left students displaced, disconnected, and emotionally affected. Again, online platforms with recorded videos and downloadable resources became essential for learning continuity. These events are rare, they're recurring. The online education must be resilient enough to withstand them in Bangladesh or in countries who are suffering like Bangladesh. Demand for digital alternatives. 72% of the surveyed students like political unrest to their desire for stable online education system. 68% pointed to natural disasters as major barrier to consistent learning. The takeaway is that in Bangladesh, online learning isn't a backup. It's often only viable path forward during a crisis like this, crisis like political issues or crisis like natural disasters. Our interviews and surveys revealed 5 core needs. Bilingual support, 90% of the students preferred Bangla-based interfaces. Even students fluent in English found Bangla more effective for complex topics. Online, for number 2, online and low bandwidth access. Students rely on mobile devices and low-end devices. Compressed video, offline notes, and lightweight UI are essential to these students. Furthermore, intuitive interfaces. Rural students reported low digital literacy. Familiar patterns like interface resembling YouTube or Google Meet were preferred because of their limited or intuitive interfaces. Interactive features such as students appreciated quizzes, polls, and discussion boards to stay engaged and test their understanding. And finally, collaboration tools were also essential in the key design finding. There was a strong desire to replicate group study experiences through shared notes, forums, and chat spaces. Discussion implications for design and equity. Our findings show that online education in the global south is shaped not just by technology, but by politics, infrastructure, and culture as well. 3 key implications were emerged. Online learning is essential, not optional. During political unrest and natural disaster, it was the only way students could continue their education. Design must reflect real-world conditions, such as mobile-first, accessibility of low bandwidth and Bangla-friendly tools are crucial for access and motivation. Students are co-creators, not just users. Their feedback shaped our prototype, emphasizing the value of participatory design. These insights challenges ed-tech models and call for inclusive context-aware learning platforms designed from the margins outward. For our design, based on these insights, we proposed minimalist intuitive UI, full bilingual support, application, offline and low bandwidth compatibility, features for collaboration and interaction are built in to-do list and process tracker for self-paced learning. All of these are designed not just for usability, but for inclusivity, resilience, and motivation. To visualize these features, we created speculative mobile-first prototype, not as a product, but as a design provocation. The key features include AI notes, which will provide a summarized, editable lecture notes that are translatable and shareable, interactive video player, discussion threads, subtitles, and transcriptions built into each video. To-do and tracker library is where the students can track progress, download resources, and organize their learning. Offline access. For example, videos and notes can be downloaded for use during internet outage or power cuts. Customization tools can be, for example, light or dark modes, layout flexibility, and features like upvotes to recreate study group dynamics. Bilingual support is very important as interface design in Bangla first with English toggle is necessary for them or for students to have a better understanding of what they are learning and to use the app with ease. The design reflects the students asked for flexibility, clarity, and the chance to keep learning no matter what. Implication considerations. While our prototype is conceptually strong, we acknowledge challenges in implications. AI and cloud-based features can be expensive. Low bandwidth environments need smart compression and caching. Interactive and testing and co-design with students is crucial. We recommend sharing with the open source tools, local partnerships, modular rollouts to gradually implement these ideas. And finally, to conclude, online learning is not a convenience, it's a critical infrastructure in countries like Bangladesh. Our findings emphasizes that political, infrastructural, and linguistic barriers must all be addressed together. The design must meet learners what they are with Bangla first content, offline access, and interfaces that respect their context. For future work, we aim to include teachers, parents, and education administrators in the design process, conduct pilot studies and comparative testing across different regions, expand to other global South context facing similar challenges. Our goal is clear: to support education that is equable, accessible, and resilient, not just for some, but for all. Thank you so much for your time, attention, and care. We hope our research contributes to the broader convention and conversation across inclusive, culturally grounded, and resilient education technologies. I, on behalf of all my co-authors, thank the whole DIS committee once again for letting us present our research here. Thank you so much.